to see you. A lot has happened since we last spoke, as is usually becoming the case at this point. Ulfric and his men attacked Whiterun. Thanks to my leadership, we held them back. I've returned to Solitude to receive my next orders, and I am to go to Dawnstar to bring Imperial justice to another new area in Skyrim. But now I find myself without Lydia, who's vanished, and with Solitude and the death grip of an evil malignant force named the Wolf Queen. I will stop her.
Thought I heard him.
you are in my room. If I'm in the game room, I'm downstairs. Bathroom.
You've come far, mortal. No doubt you seek to enter Messiah. I can see to that. We'll need plenty of fresh corpses to rebuild the army, you see.
Christopher Smith is here. What's up, Chris? There's the last one. Yeah, he does. He's subscribed. I almost just got disarmed there. That would really suck.
See it again. No. Bleed and die.
This isn't going very well. That's a good bow. You have no idea. I don't believe it. It's the Wolf Queen Awakened. It's under Solitude. It's in Solitude. Yes, they do.
Not much further. Come with me. Serve me in death. You've come far, mortal. But can you stand against my inner council? Let's see.
Let's. This was a screw job.
Don't applaud yourself too soon, worm. Rip the eyes from his head.
out where I expect it to come out. Look at this. Alright, let's just fast travel. So good of you to rejoin me, Lydia.
I'm right behind you.
I have not, Chris.
I'm at your command.
I've just been so enjoying this remastered Skyrim that I haven't really gotten into any of the other ones. A lot of it is mostly because they're mostly long RPGs that I haven't played before. So whenever I get into them, I really want to devote a lot of time to them. I was gonna give her something. Oh yeah,
Get going,
sort
then.
of scorching as well.
Still here. I am sworn to carry your burdens. Get going, then.
Whoa. What's the next?
True.
There is. I did
may
get
look the
Doom
part of
though.
catching swordsman, but I prefer the art of wit.
Yeah, I got Dragon Age in that sale as well, and I've never played it before, so I'm really for $10 it was such a good deal, and I'm really looking forward to playing that game. I've never played any of the Dragon Age series, but as you can see on our channel, and we've talked about it before, I'm a huge fan of Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, so I'm very excited to play that.
You've returned. I'm hoping successfully.
I have Potima's remains.
Excellent. These things do have a way of working out when people take action. I'll sanctify the remains. In case Falk doesn't make it clear, Solitude owes you a debt of gratitude.
Even though it wasn't on sale, my brother got Final Fantasy IV, and he's only a couple hours in, but he thinks it's really good so far.
Tomato to keep you strong.
So exciting when new folk come into town. I bet you've had plenty of adventures.
I probably looked ridiculous on stream. I just stood there. Which one's 2? Is that Origins?
It's so
May
good
the
to
gods
see you.
watch over your battles, friend.
I've taken care of Potima.
You've done a great thing today. It doesn't matter who you support in the war, but Potema would have been a blight on the land for both sides. Without you, this would have been a disaster. I should have paid more heed to Varnius's warnings. I won't make that mistake again. take this payment. The Jarl would thank you, but she very much wants to keep Potema's return quiet. Make no mistake, we consider you a protector of Solitude.
Be quick. I have little patience for mundane concerns.
Sweet.
Still here. I am at your command.
It's a really great shield.
Let's going then. I have so very many ways to deal with people. Very few of them.
Beg pardon. You dropped some armor over there. Don't suppose you'd mind if I, took it?
It's mine, don't touch it.
Oh, well, you should probably go get it before someone steals it.
If you have business, please see Falk Firebeard.
I've got your back. I am at your command.
I don't think I can just have some peasant picking up the shield of Ysgramor.
Let's get
Now she's
going
gonna
then.
use it, even though the other one's better. That's
I'm right behind you. I am sworn to carry your burdens.
Well, I guess
going
that
then.
peasant hat takes it.
Have business with the court?
What happened to that Jarl? Rarely get the respect I deserve.
The Jarl is not to be
Please
disturbed
address
with
all
common
questions to
affairs
the
of court.
Fire.
We direct those concerns.
Dean Inga says a bard can never have enough practice. So, would you like a tune?
You gotta love bards.
Lady A.T.
Hello, welcome to the Bard's College. I'm the headmaster here. How may I help you?
I'm looking to apply to the college.
Always a pleasure to meet a prospective bard. You should be aware that many apply, but we accept very few people. When possible, we ask applicants to perform tasks the college needs completed. In this case, I do have a task befitting an aspiring bard.
What do you need me to do?
Elisif has forbidden the burning of King Olaf, a festival put on by the Bard's College. We need to change her mind. To convince her, I want to read King Olaf's verse, a part of the Poetic Edda, the living history of Skyrim. Unfortunately, the verse was lost long ago.
And that's where I come in.
Yes, according to Giraud, our history's keeper, the portion of the Edda dealing with King Olaf might still exist in Dead Man's Respite. I need you to retrieve the poem.
So what is the Poetic Edda?
I think Giraud here would give you the best explanation of both it and the history of King Olaf's verse. You should speak to him about it.
Why did Elisif forbid the festival?
As you may be aware, Elisif's husband, High King Torrig, was recently killed. Elisif mourns her husband deeply, and she feels that a festival that burns a king in effigy is distasteful. I tried to convince her the festival is many centuries old and celebrates solitude, but I need proof. I believe King Olaf's verse will provide that proof.
Has the war affected your college much?
Not much. But as a bard, I find the whole affair depressing. There are no heroes in this war, no winners to be had, and no real conclusion. If you want something a bard can dig into, look to the dragons. 1,000 years from now, Skyrim will have changed rulers dozens of times. But the return of the dragons, that story is once in an era.
What do you know about dragons?
Not much, to be honest. Their return was a shock to us all. Gerard Germain has some tomes about them in the library,
Chris,
if you're interested.
Whenever I play Dragon Age Inquisition, am I going to be missing stuff since I didn't play the, 1 and 2?
I wish you luck in finding the verse.
Good to meet a prospective bard.
Biarmo said you could tell me about the Poetic Edda.
He's sending you after King Olaf's verse, then. That's good. We shouldn't leave it lying around now that I figured out where it is. The verse was Svafnir's contribution to the Poetic Edda, the living history of Skyrim. Each bard adds to the Edda in his or her time.
So King Olaf's verse is a lost part of the Edda.
And a very ancient one. The verse criticized the reigning King Olaf. He was so incensed the bard was put to death and all the copies burned. At least, that's what we thought until I translated some ancient texts a year or so ago. We now believe King Olaf buried the truth with the bard. If I'm right, Svafnir and King Olaf's verse lie in Dead Men's Respite, along with the burial chamber of King Olaf himself. Be careful. You might find more than just King Olaf's verse in Dead Man's Respite. What a fascinating time to be alive. Mark me, these days will be remembered long after we're gone.
Indeed.
Eyes open. Damn dragons could swoop down at any time. Hail, summoner. Conjure me up a warm bed, would you? Doubtful it's better than what I have, though.
So exciting when new folk come into town. I bet you've had plenty of adventures.
Hello.
Are you a gallant
Welcome
hero?
to the center of the world. Or at least my brother Eric's world.
So Erica is your brother?
Yes, my older brother. And the person you probably want to be speaking to right now. But really, since Torig's death, Falk Firebeard wields...
That's it. Yeah.
We'll speak again later.
$10 for Greek.
Being old's not so bad. What you doing that for, Fed? My working days are done.
Yeah, that makes sense. I figured it might be something like The Witcher 3. It might even be not as bad as The Witcher 3, in that there was stuff that was happening in The Witcher 3 that I knew I would have gotten better if I had played the others. I probably will go back and play Witcher 2 someday. Solitude is so badass. You're playing Final Fantasy IV right now. Kidding me. The Witcher games are wonderful. I don't understand this. Yeah. A dragon. Yes, it does. Test yourself, dragon, if you are foolish enough. That's what I thought. I see. The books are places. He said that the books that The Witcher are based off of are plagiarized from something, so he doesn't want to play them. I'm willing to overlook this. I did not know that. Really? I thought it was just based off of, you know, those Japanese style swords. Katanas. Which, of course, Sephiroth's Messamune is one. Not even using a guide. Don't need it. Favorite weapon in Skyrim. I've never heard of this little series you're talking about. I guess you must be a fan. This looks like the site of an epic confrontation. And Lydia has arrived. Let's get him. Complete destruction. Necessary, my friend. Interesting. Wow. It's got an expert level destruction spell. Incinerate. It's found in a chest. Yeah. I never even had it before. I destroyed that guy. Yeah. Seconds.
Is that one of the old ruins?
Lydia wasn't with me that entire dungeon, and then she appeared right before the boss, in the boss chamber, like walking away from where the boss was. Like she'd been in there this whole time. is one long living steed right there.
Need a ride?
Yes.
Where do you want to go?
I'd like you to take me to Dawnstar.
Climb and back and we'll be off. Nice weather for a ride. Hope it lasts.
I suppose that's a good point. I'll have to look into it.
They say that vampires attack the Hall of the Vigilant, burned to the ground.
Divine sakes, Skull. Who do you think we're threatening with our old war wounds? We're not soldiers anymore.
Big cow with respect. His old Legion armor. What should I make of that?
He's proud of his service, Scald. The Legion taught us loyalty, and we're loyal to Dawnstar.
This isn't over. I catch you sending one letter to General Tullius. I'll have you both executed.
You will be executed, sir.
You come to Dawnstar at a bad time. Tempers are fiery.
A bad time? What's wrong?
Not a single man or woman in Dawnstar has gotten a good night's rest in days. We keep having the same nightmare, over and over. If people aren't tired, they're angry. And if they aren't angry, they're afraid. It's made keeping order a mess. I hear Mara has sent one of her priests to the inn to try to calm people down. But I don't know how much words will do now.
Perhaps I'll look into it. Did I see you arguing with someone?
Skald supports Ulfric's rebellion, and he doesn't like having a couple of old legionnaires living in his town. He's a fool. A dragon has attacked Helgen. Dawnstar needs the Empire now more than ever.
More than you know. Unfortunately, Miss Marilis, I've been sent here to resolve a dispute.
You can't scare me into submission. Let's go.
Very well.
Come on. Ha! Like the bite of a flea. That's your best, huh? Come on, let's see you put up a fight. God, no. You think I'm afraid of you? Do your worst.
Fists are flying.
No!
Not bad, Miss Marilis.
Snowbound to the ground.
You call yourself a Nord?
Only by birth.
You're tougher than you look. You got me, fair and square.
You know what you have to do.
Fine, I'll take care of it. Just please leave me alone.
These dreams are real, I tell you.
Seems like no one is getting a decent night's rest in Dawnstar, stranger. Best buy your steel and move on.
You in charge of this forge?
My wife Sarah and I run it together. She's still Smith's, even though we found out she is with child. Our son or daughter isn't going to get much Redguard culture here in Skyrim. I know my wife worries how she will pass along her traditions. Hey, if you find a book called Night Falls on Sentinel, could you bring it to me? It's a story from my wife's people. Be good to have.
If I see it, I'll bring it to you.
Good on you.
Do you work for the ships?
Hi, I've worked on a few moorings here and there for it. Most of the ship captains are superstitious about who works on their vessels, though. And Dawnstar is known for its bad luck. We're the last port of call before Windhelm, and the ore we trade makes rich targets for pirates.
What have you got for sale?
The finest weapons and armor.
But do you have any moonstone? God bless this man. You, sir, may just be my favorite blacksmith.
Back if you need steel.
Time has come, Lydia.
Still here. I'm at your command. You lead, I'll follow.
Take a look. Farewell.
I helped my husband Wrestling run the forge. He's a marvel with steel.
Your ancestors wouldn't want this, Silas.
Why should I hide from it? This is my family's legacy.
It's the past. Dead oaths on dead lips. Let it stay there.
The museum is open.
What kind of fool plays with fire like that? I beg you, don't go into Silas's museum.
What's this museum?
Silas comes from one of the oldest families in Dawnstar. They have a complicated history. Several of his ancestors belonged to the Mythic Dawn, the cult that almost destroyed Tamriel. His family's involvement was only found out well after the crisis had died down, but it still ruined their reputation. They were outcasts. And now Silas is back, and this museum to the Mythic Dawn is his way of trying to rebuild his family's pride. It's misguided.
The Mythic Dawn. Who are they?
Not a student of history, I see. It's for the best. They're a group that should be forgotten. The only thing you need to know is that they almost destroyed the world, and they were stopped a long time ago. That museum is a mistake. I'm here to lend my magic to the people of Dawnstar.
And here comes my first visitor. The Museum of the Mythic Dawn is open, friend.
What was that arguing about?
Never mind that. Medina is a good woman, but I have my own reasons for opening this museum, and I'm not changing my mind. I have a collection of artifacts from the group that toppled an empire. Their importance to history cannot be forgotten. Why don't you come in? You can browse the displays and we can talk. I have a job you look perfect for.
Sounds good.
Let's talk inside. Feel free to look around. Come talk to me when you're ready to discuss that job I mentioned. The tapestries hung here and outside were found in hideouts, where members of the Mythic Dawn would meet and plot. The cult's greatest accomplishment was the assassination of the Septim Dynasty and the opening of the Oblivion Gates. Ah, yes. That scabbard. Notice the insignia? The Oblivion Gate. A key symbol of Mehrunes Dagon, the patron Daedra of the Mythic Dawn. The commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes were written by the Mythic Dawn cult leader, Mankar Camoran. He promised a paradise awaited his followers when they died, that they would be reborn by Mehrunes Dagon's side. That burned paper is all that remains of the fabled Mysterium Xarxes, the blasphemous book written by Mehrunes Dagon himself. It's said that Mankar Camoran used the book to open a portal to a paradise where all his followers would live forever. Did you have any questions about the museum, or would you rather talk business?
Let's talk about the job you want done.
A little history first. After the Oblivion Crisis, a number of groups cropped up dedicated to wiping out the remnants of the Mythic Dawn. One of these groups found Mehrunes' razor, the artifact of Dagon. They split it into 3 fragments and pledged to keep them apart forever. That was almost 150 years ago, and the pieces are still being kept by the descendants of that group, and they're right here, in Skyrim.
And you want me to get those fragments?
At least 2 of the owners, Gunzel and Draskua, are dangerous marauders. And the 3rd owner, Jorgen, I only know he lives in Morthal. Here are my notes about them. I'll gladly pay you for getting the pieces any way you can. No questions asked.
I want to know more about the razor.
The razor is Mehrunes Dagon's personal artifact. It has always heralded bloody change and carnage. It's held many names. Dagger of the Final Wounds, Bane of the Righteous, the Kingslayer. The Mythic Dawn worshipped Dagon as a god. Having his razor would be invaluable to my collection.
Tell me about the Mythic Dawn cult.
They were worshippers of Mehrunes Dagon, the Daedric Lord of Destruction and Change. The Mythic Dawn killed Uriel Septim VII and his heirs, triggering the events that led to the Oblivion Crisis when the Daedra invaded Tamriel. All that remains of the infamous cult, I've gathered in my museum.
And Mehrunes Dagon?
Ah, an excellent question. Mehrunes Dagon is the Daedric Lord of Change, Destruction, and Ambition. Dagon's Mythic Dawn cult killed the Septim Dynasty and opened the Oblivion Gates into Tamriel. They called it the Oblivion Crisis.
Why did you open this museum?
It's no secret that my family were once members of the Mythic Dawn. One of my forefathers was even chosen to assassinate Uriel Septim himself. We hid from our past for years, became tradesmen, people of coin and influence. But I realized that the Mythic Dawn's importance, our importance, to history cannot be denied. I'll see everyone in Tamriel remember that for a moment, we held the fate of the world in our hands, for good. Good luck finding the fragments.
Indeed. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Swindler's Den. Already been there.
Come to Dawnstar at a strange time, friend. Seems everyone in the town is having nightmares.
What's wrong with everyone around here?
The entire town is being plagued by horrible nightmares. They're in serious danger, but I'm afraid there's little I can do about it.
What could you do anyway? Dreams aren't real.
These dreams are manifestations created by the Daedric Lord, Vermina. She has an awful hunger for our memories. In return, she leaves behind nightmares. Not unlike a cough marks a serious illness. I must end her terrible influence over these people before the damage becomes permanent.
What's your plan?
I need to return to the source of the problem, to Nightcaller Temple. Perhaps you'd be willing to assist me in that regard.
Thanks, Miles. What do you mean, return? You've been there?
I've already said too much. If anyone overhears what we're saying, it could start a panic. I would simply ask that you trust me and help me end Dawnstar's nightmares.
I trust you. How can I help?
Wonderful. My Lady Mara will be quite pleased. Nightcaller Temple is only a short walk from Dawnstar. Come, we must hurry.
Short is a relative term. Who is the Daedric Lord Vermina?
Vermina resides in a strange realm known as Quagmire, a nightmarish land where reality shifts upon itself in seemingly impossible ways. From her citadel at the center, she reaches forth to collect our memories, leaving nothing in return apart from visions of horror and despair.
What does she do with the memories?
Who can say? Perhaps she collects them for display like works of art in a nonsensical art gallery. Whatever the case may be, her intentions are far from benevolent. I promise to answer all of your questions. Follow me.
Thought that guy was playing air guitar for a second. Great playing. The lute is a wonderful instrument.
I envy you travelers. Dreams aren't affecting anyone not from here.
You work here all day?
Yes. Ever since my mother died a few winters ago. I play songs and help with the drinks when I have the time.
Need a room? Don't worry. Nightmares don't seem to happen for travelers.
That's good news, though hopefully the nightmares won't be a problem for much longer. I'm actually looking for work, though. Got any leads?
Here, take a look at this. Some of the Jarl's men came by and left us bounty litter.
I bet you want some... Oh? A dragon?
See ya.
The flute, however, not my favorite instrument. Alright, Elf, let's get this over with. Look at him
I work
go.
for the Wind Peak Inn.
Oh.
We should head on inside.
He was running at first, but looks like he's just gonna walk.
Follow me.
Now.
It's this way.
You're not afraid to set fire to something?
You should be more concerned about him. He's the one with the torch.
It feels good to finally have a chance to help these people. Helplessly watching them suffer has been difficult.
I don't see shackles on your feet, man. You didn't have to wait for me. Though it seems everyone does in Skyrim. I'm not sure what these people did before I arrived. Some ice wraiths. just shield bash that thing.
That it? That is down?
And here we are, priest.
Before we enter, I must warn you about the dangers that could be lurking within. Years ago, this temple was raided by an orc war party seeking revenge. They were being plagued by nightmares, just like the people of Dawnstar.
Were they successful?
No. Knowing they could never defeat the orcs, the priests of Vermina released what they called the miasma, putting everyone to sleep.
Why is it dangerous if they're asleep?
I'm concerned that when this place is unsealed, the miasma will dissipate and they'll awaken. Both orcs and priests alike.
What does this miasma do?
The miasma was created by the priests of Vermina for their rituals. It's a gas that places the affected in a deep sleep. Because the rituals would last for months or even years, the miasma was designed to slow down the aging process.
Is this gas dangerous?
Sadly, yes. The longer an individual is exposed to the miasma, the more the mind can become damaged. Those who've been under the effect of it for extended periods of time have been known to lose their minds entirely. In some cases, a few never awoke at all. Once we get inside, all will become clear.
I'll take care of this. Well, I've graduated now, but I studied journalism, and that's what I do now. I work at a little newspaper. Perhaps one day I'll even write about games.
Give me just a moment, and I'll have this open. Now I can show you the source of the nightmares. Over here. Behold the skull of corruption, the source of Dawnstar's woes. We must reach the inner sanctum and destroy it. Come, there's no time to lose.
Fight to the last.
Damn it! The priests must have activated this barrier when the miasma was released.
Looks difficult to breach.
Impossible, actually. I wonder. There may be a way to bypass the barrier, but I must check their library and confirm it can be done.
You seem to know an awful lot about this place.
I suppose there's no point in concealing the truth any longer. My knowledge of this temple comes from personal experience. I was a priest of Vermina.
You should have told me the truth.
Yes, you're right. I should have. But I didn't know what to say. When the orcs raided the temple, I fled. I left my brothers and sisters behind to die. I've spent the last few decades living in regret and seeking redemption from Mara. And by her benevolence, I will right my wrongs.
All right. I'm ready.
I still have my key to the library. Whenever you're ready, let's move on.
How can the skull be affecting Dawnstar?
Lore holds that the skull of corruption holds a constant hunger for the memories of others. The skull has been out of touch for so long, I fear it's gained the ability to reach out on its own and try to feed. What it does with these memories is just conjecture, and an argument for scholars and historians to this very day. We mustn't tarry. The skull needs to be destroyed as soon as possible.
You continue to walk in a snail's pace.
It's just up here. Be careful. We're certain to find more of the awakened within.
Oh dear.
Time of your
Kill!
Kill them!
Barring any more interruptions, perhaps we can locate the information I need.
What am I looking for?
We're looking for a book of alchemical recipes called the Dream Stride. The tome bears the likeness of Vermina on the cover. It should be here somewhere. If you'll check the shelves around the balcony, I'll check around the lower level.
I haven't. I am interested in them, but I've heard that the mods aren't really that great on PS4. I probably would be looking... I'd be more interested in them on Skyrim than in Fallout, probably. But, I've heard that since it's my first time playing Skyrim, I don't want to screw up my trophies, and I've heard that, using mods you don't get trophies when you do it, so... I've just been going through a vanilla playthrough right now.
Yes, my son. What is it I can help with?
Found it.
Let me take a look. Mara be praised. There is a way past the barrier to the inner sanctum. It involves a recipe for a liquid known as Vermina's torpor.
Is that some type of potion?
Yes. The torpor grants an ability the priests of Vermina called the Dream Stride, using dreams to travel distances in the real world.
That's impossible.
Dream Stride is well known in Verminian lore. Sadly, I have yet to see it function in person.
I'm going to be your test subject, then?
As a sworn priest of Mara, the elixir won't work for me. The torpor will only work for priests of Vermina, or the unaffiliated.
Do you know where we can find the torpor?
All believe there is a laboratory in the East Wing. If we proceed there, we should be able to locate a sample. The laboratory adjoins the library. I'm hoping we'll find a sample of the torpor left undamaged.
Feel free to advance your position. Just standing here in the doorway. What an idiot.
Destroyed!
What about you, Chris? Have you experimented with mod? Do you play on PS4?
Kill them all!
Sorry, I thought he was attacking.
You won't even live to regret it!
Now that they've been dealt with, we need to find the torpor.
How will I know what it looks like?
It should be in a small bottle, very similar to a potion. I'll begin searching up here. The torpor should be a tall bottle with dark liquid. You find it.
Always fun to start a new character in Fallout. My little hardcore playthrough, it isn't finished. It's just on hold a little bit.
Yes, my son. What is it I can help with?
That's cool. I haven't bought the home in Diamond City in such a long time. Really, I think the only time I did it was in my first playthrough. I used to buy a lot of homes in Skyrim too, but now I pretty much just stick to building one. Just one of the main reasons I'm doing this quest.
Yes, my son. What is it I can help with?
I found the torpor.
I'm relieved you discovered a bottle intact. This place looks as though it was ransacked by the orcs. So, I've taken us this far, but you need to guide us the rest of the way. Drink.
Here. Now.
Dawnstar's fate rests in that tiny bottle. The longer we wait, the more damage Vermina could be doing to those poor people. I understand your hesitation, but I promise you that it works.
What will the dream stride feel like?
You'll be viewing the memory of another through your own eyes and with your own body. Those around you will perceive you as normal, and you will find the words you utter may not be your own. Thanks to all of these odd principles, there is quite a lot of debate as to whether this is really a dream or just the machinations of Vermina.
How will I know when to awaken?
I will watch over you as you slumber to ensure your safety. If I deduce anything is amiss, I will use my arts to bring you back. Otherwise, I am uncertain what will end your dream stride. Perhaps when Vermina's curious appetite has been filled. Let's continue. We still have much to do.
The orcs have breached the inner sanctum, Brother Varen.
We must hold. We can't allow the skull to fall into their hands.
But no more than a handful of us remain, brother.
Then we have no choice. The miasma must be released.
The miasma? But brother...
We have no alternative. It's the will of Vermina. And what about you, Brother Casimir? Are you prepared to serve the will of Vermina?
I've made my place. All right.
Then it's decided. Brother Casimir, you must activate the barrier and release the miasma. Let nothing stop you. Brother Thorin, we must remain here and guard this skull with our lives if necessary.
Agreed. To the death.
Then let it be done. I fought worse than you.
Mara be praised. You vanished after drinking the torpor and materialized on the other side. I've never seen anything quite like it.
That's cool. I'll have to try it out. It served a purpose.
After what you just experienced, you're not amazed? I'm at a loss for words.
We can discuss it later. We need to proceed.
Indeed. My reverence for Vermina's machinations should not take precedence over our mission. My apologies. The inner sanctum lies ahead. We must reach the skull and put an end to Dawnstar's troubles. Lead on, my friend. Come, we must get to the skull and destroy it.
They mustn't stop us.
I really like the idea of them. I just haven't really used them much. I know for a lot of people that's like the best thing about Skyrim, is that you can mod it up any way you choose.
At your best,
Wait.
Baron, Thoric, you're alive.
No thanks to you, Casimir. I no longer use that name. I'm Miranda, priest of Mara. You're a traitor. You left us to die and then ran before the miasma took you. No, I was scared. I wasn't ready to sleep. Enough of your lies. I can't allow you to destroy the skull, priest of Mara. Then you leave me no choice. Never stop!
You're alive. I cannot let you go.
They're mean.
Damn, there's lightning going on here.
I knew Varen and Thoric. They were my friends. Is this punishment for my past? Is it Mara's will to torment me so?
We had no choice.
Yes, you're right. If they needed to die so that Dawnstar could live, then it was worth the price. It's time. The skull must be destroyed. If you'll stand back, I'll perform the ritual granted to me by Lady Mara. First, an incantation to remove the barrier. I call upon you, Lady Mara. The skull hungers. It yearns for memories and leaves nightmares in its wake. Grant me the power to break through this barrier and to send the skull to the depths of oblivion.
He's deceiving you. When the ritual's complete, the skull will be free, and then Arender will turn on you.
The bastard.
Quickly, kill him now. Kill him and claim the skull for your own. Vermina commands you.
What if she's right? I can't let myself be betrayed. Much less for the skull to be destroyed. I have no choice.
God, no!
Let's go, Lydia. I did what I had to. Yeah, I'm pretty much just role-playing. I always kill that guy, but for Sephiroth it was a big step toward the darkness, I suppose you could say.
The nightmares in Dawnstar have lifted, and I hear you helped that happen. You have my thanks.
How is Dawnstar faring in the war?
Oh, the Stormcloaks are destined to win this fight. Talos is with us, and when you fight under a divine's blessing, victory is assured. Dawnstar has a history of being the site of battles that have crippled the fate of the Empire. I hope this remains true.
We'll see. Perhaps sooner than you may think. You think Dawnstar is prepared for dragon attacks?
The only reason dragons are attacking is because Talos is angry with us for turning our backs on him. As soon as we drive the Empire out of Skyrim, the dragons will vanish. Mark my words.
If the dragons do vanish, old man, it will be because of my doing. Nonetheless, I am looking for work.
Giants are a common problem in the Pale. The Empire always demanded I leave them be, but the Empire isn't here now. Go and slay one of the beasts. To let them know that Dawnstar is not to be trifled with.
It will be done.
I'm counting on you. Good luck with the giant. Don't get stepped on.
I have no love for those beasts, after they assaulted me one too many times. How's your hunger levels? Really? Well, we should probably just go do it. You're at a great stopping place. Well, don't worry. You can just go right back to it to eat. I don't know when they close. Alright, Chris, I'm going to sign off for a little bit now. Before all of the food establishments close up. But the journey will continue in the days ahead.